Welcome to the Mail Valet training videos. This video is part 2 of the series on creating email routing rules. The first part dealt with creating manually rules one at a time. This part deals with creating rules automatically or semi-automatically as you move emails from one folder to another. Rules that are created automatically occur as the movements are taking place, and you don't see visually any of the rules as they're being created. Rules that are created semi-automatically again occur when you're moving the emails from one folder to another, but each of the individual rules that are created also are accompanied by a visual pop-up that shows you the details of the rule and allows you to customize that rule in a particular way if you so desire. So first, we'll take a couple of emails from our inbox and specify and move them to the test folder that we created in an earlier demo. We'll specify that automatic rules should be created during the movement. Let's tap on the inbox to bring up our emails. And I would like to bring up the multi-select function. So let's tap on Mail List and then tap on Multi-Select Emails. And then I'm going to select two of our mails from the inbox. Notice that one of these has a sending address of Microsoft Store at microsoftstoreemail.com, and the other has a different email address, Microsoft at e-mail.microsoft.com. So we should see two different routing rules being created automatically when the movement takes place. So now I'm going to select Move Selected Emails to Folder, as you see here. And you'll notice, as we covered before, that the list of folders in the Comcast account show up, and one of those is the test folder that we created in the earlier demo. I'm going to select that in a second, but notice down below, previously we used no routing rule as our option for the move. This time we're going to change it to use auto rule, and go ahead and click on Comcast test folder. So now the moves have taken place, and we have a confirmation that it took place. We'll click on OK to clear that. I'm going to close this dialog, and I'm going to close the inbox and look at the test folder. Looking at the test folder, you'll notice that in addition to the earlier email that we had from earlier exercises, the two Microsoft emails are now in the test folder. Scroll that back up here. Now let's take a look and see if rules were generated and corresponding to the move we just made. Let's go tap on Setup, tap on Email Auto Routing Rules, tap on our Comcast account because that's where we're working. And notice now the rules that are in the Change or Delete Rules section. There is a Rule 1 from the earlier exercise that we worked on, but notice there are two brand new rules, AutoGen Rule 1 and AutoGen Rule 2. These were created as a result of the move that we just did. Two rules were created instead of one because there were two separate sender addresses in the two emails. And what we were saying with that move, that from now on we want to do a similar move automatically when those emails come in, when we check our mail and emails from those same senders come in, we want to move them immediately to the test folder that we specified in the rule. So let's take a look at the rule, at AutoGen Rule 1. We'll select that and select Change just to have a look at it. Notice that we're matching on sender email address, and it's Microsoft Store at microsoftstoreemail.com. And let's scroll down, and notice that we automatically pick because we moved to the test folder, the rule was set up to send rule matches to the designated folder, and that is the test folder. So that is one example of automatic generation of the rule. Let's now look at the other one. Go back to Setup. Go to Email Auto Routing Rules, Comcast, and AutoGen Rule 2, and we'll click on Change to have a look at it. So the rule here, AutoGen Rule 2, instead of 1 is the name here. The sender email address that we're matching on in this case is the second address, the one in the second email. And the destination, again, is going to be, the rule is to send rule matches to the designated folder again, and it's again going to be to the test folder. So for however many emails you pick from the folder that you're moving from, a rule is created for each distinct email address, sender email address. And that's why we had two rules created instead of one when we did the movement here. Finally, we're going to repeat this exercise, take two more emails out of our inbox and move them, and this time specify manual rule generation instead of auto rule generation. So let's click here to close what we had up now. Click on our inbox to open that back up. Again, we'll go back into multi-select mode by tapping on Mail List, Multi-Select Emails. And now I'll select two more emails from my inbox. And let's look at the addresses here. Here we have another Microsoft email, and then we have one from Publix. So we're going to again pick Move Selected Emails to Folder. We are again going to move them to the test folder as before, but this time I'm going to select an option of manual rule as you see here. And we'll go ahead and tap now on test folder. Now this time we are in the process of moving the rules to the folder, and while we're doing that we're generating the rules and we're getting a visual display of the rules as they're created. Notice that this is called Manual Gen Rule 1 as an automatic name that was given, and they will increase sequentially Rule 1, 2, 3 as they're automatically created one at a time. Again, it's in our Comcast account. Again, we're matching on sender email address, and scroll down. So really it looks the same as what we had before, but the difference is not only are we looking at it, we could also change to a different option. We could click on sender domain name, put in a match there however we want to do it. So you can, any of the possible ways you can set up a rule can be used here. In the middle of creation of this rule, we can customize it to use something other than the sender email address as for the rule matching. For purposes of this demo, I'm just going to leave them the same. We could also give it a different action. We could say delete instead of sending it to a folder if we changed our mind in the middle. But for purposes of this, I'm going to simply say that we leave it the same. So let's scroll down to the bottom. I've looked at the rule, and I'm going to say update because I approve of this rule, and we want to move on to the next one. Now we had a different email address for Publix, so a second rule is created. And again, we get a visual view of the rule as it's created. This one's called Manual Gen Rule 2, again in the Comcast account. Again, we're matching on sender email address unless we change our minds and customize the rule. And notice the address is from the second email, no reply at exact.publix.com. So again, I'll scroll down here. I approve of this rule the way it stands, so I'll tap on Update. And that will give me a confirmation that selected emails have been moved and any new routing rules that are needed have been added. If we did a repetition of the manual move from the same email addresses that we've looked at already, and there was already a rule out there that we had created previously, it will not create a duplicate rule doing the same thing. So that's why the message here is a little bit vague, saying that any new routing rules that are needed have been added. There may not have been any needed if we are repeating a previous move that we had done manually before. Yeah, I'm going to tap on OK to clear it. Let's again close our inbox and look at the test folder again. And you'll notice that there's the email from Publix, and the additional email from Microsoft is now present as well. Close the test folder, and let's tap on Setup, Email Auto Routing Rules, Comcast, and look at the list of rules that we have available now. We can, this time, instead of going to look at the rule details, I'm going to tap on Manual Rule 1 and swipe to the right to get a rule summary. So we got a rule name, Manual Gen Rule 1. Rule type is select by sender email address, and there's the address. The action is send a designated folder, and it went to the test folder because we sent the emails to that folder, and we assigned a priority of none. I'll close that. I'll go to Rule 2 and swipe to the right, and again we get the same similar information for Rule 2. And that just kind of illustrates also how quickly you can look at a summary of rules and their actions by tapping and swiping. We will close that up, and that concludes this demo on creating routing rules automatically as you move emails from your inbox to another folder.